Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. Today we will work on a memoir entitled With a Little Help from My Friends that is taken from Funny in Farsi. The focus will be on analyzing craft and structure of this memoir. Kindly take your textbook, My Perspectives, and turn to page 95. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand autobiographical writing. Secondly, understand and identify key elements of a memoir, and also distinguish between autobiographical writing and a memoir. Use the KWL chart to write what you already know about a autobiographical writing and memoir, and the key elements of a memoir. Want to know about if you have any questions or about the memoir or autobiographical writing, you write them here. And finally, as usual, we leave the last column that is learned till the end of the lesson. Then you write what you've learned here. So analyze crafts and structure. This is from your textbook, page 95 again, My Perspectives. So what is an autobiographical writing? It is any type of non-fiction in which an author tells his or her own story. Okay, so it's about telling one's story. A full autobiography usually covers the author's entire life or a large span of time of his life. Okay, this is like the amount is very big and the duration also. Whereas a memoir, by contrast, is a limited kind of autobiographical writing that focuses on one period or an aspect of the writer's life. So the difference here is that autobiography, like the author's entire life or a large span of time. Let's just keep this in mind, a large span of time. This is autobiography, a large span of time of the life of the author. Whereas memoir focuses only on one period or one aspect of the writer's life, which means it is shorter compared to autobiography. All right, this is the difference between the two. And you can think of it that a memoir is part of autobiography writing. All right. So memoirs share these elements. What are those elements? To know that what you are reading is a memoir, or if you want to write it, to make sure that you include those elements for your piece to be called a memoir. So first, written in first person. That is to say, using the pronouns I, me, we, and us. So those are the pronouns that you will find in memoirs. Memoirs are written in story form. You use the story form. In other words, you may read like, or they may read like a work of fiction. You may read them as a work of fiction. Okay. Finally, they a memoir expresses the writer's attitude and insights, and this is very important, and we will discover in the practice that we will do the writer's attitude and insights toward the events the events of that particular period the author is talking about or describing or telling the readers about. So memoirs often show how the writer's personal life, so here we are talking personal life, intersects the social and historical context, okay, or the circumstances of the time and place in which the story occurs. Aspects of the context include, so so here in any memoir you should find aspects of the context. Those aspects, they can be politics, language, values, beliefs, foods, customs, and traditions. All right, those are some of the aspects, and we will work on some of them. In this memoir, Duma expresses insights about the social and historical context of her childhood. So you can think of a memoir from this. If I take this description or this definition, memoir often show how the writer's personal life intersects the social and historical context. So I may think of it like, let's put those two circles here. Let's think of this one is social and this one is historical. So this is his personal or her personal life. This is how you might think of it, just to narrow it down, to narrow the idea down and make it more simpler. All right. So let's do this practice. Work independently. Use the chart to identify details. We have to identify details. Let me change the color and erase this one, just for the sake of being clear. Identify details from the memoir that show each aspect of the social and historical context. So we have to find details to show those aspects. What are the aspects that we have here? We have politics, traditions, foods, values, and beliefs. 4. Add a 5th. So here you should add 1. You can refer back to the other slide and take 1 if you wish and add it as an aspect. And when you add it, you have to provide textual detail and Duma's insight here, and I will show you examples how we do that. So let me finish. Add the 5th category of your own, then discuss with your group how Duma uses each detail to support an insight. All right. So for example, in politics, if you refer back to paragraph 19, you will find those details. We remember the kindness, knowing that our relatives who immigrated after the Iranian Revolution did not encounter the same America. So here we elicit the insight of Duma as follows. America changed after the Iranian Revolution, turning against Iranians. Guys, it is very important that you read the memoir first before you watch this lecture, this video, so that you can make connections and so that you can make more sense of what we are doing here. So those details, the support, or we find them in this aspect, the aspects of politics. So in this memoir, there is the aspects of politics, and those are the details. And here we write the insight of Duma. This one you get it from the text. This one you should elicit it by yourself. So then we have the aspect of traditions. Where can we find it? If you read the story or the memoir, you will find it. You'll find it in paragraph 15, for example. On Halloween, one family brought over a costume. So what is the insight according to Duma on this event or this detail? While the Americans were confused about Iranian culture, they were not sure about it. They were mistaken in a lot of aspects about the Iranian culture. They realized that Duma wouldn't know American traditions. That's why they brought her this costume on the occasion of Halloween. All right, then we move to foods. For the foods, there is the example also in paragraph 15. I bet you have never tried a Oreo. Have one. As you see, those examples that we take are related to those aspects, and I believe they are not hard to spot. So here comes the insight. People were eager to share their culture as an aspect of multicultural friendship. They were very nice to her. They were bringing her, uh, trying to make her try everything in the US, from food, clothes to visit places, etc. You should read the story to see all of those. So one of those examples, when we talk about the aspects of food, and they asking them to try Oreo, which is American and not Iranian, and doing so, they show that they want uh, to share their culture, to show friendship through multicultural, or as an aspect of multicultural friendship. Then I move to the last aspect, that is values or beliefs, in which you can find in paragraph number 7. I won't bore you with, this is the father of Duma, if I still recall. I won't bore you with religion, he said, but let me tell you about the petroleum industry. What can we elicit from this answer? Because he was put in a situation or asked a question. Uh, the insight, according to Duma, it is made clear that the cultural differences between were less important to Duma's father, yeah, he was her father, than their similarities. So here it shows that the father, by this answer, because he said we have two things in similar, that is religion, that is Islam, and petroleum, and he knows that the US has got like different religion. They have got like a lot of religions according to the people. So he wanted to focus on the similarities. That's why he didn't want to talk about religion. Instead, because he knows that they have got different religion, so he wanted to focus on similarities. He said petroleum because they have petroleum in the petroleum industry in Iran as well as in the US. So he was focusing on similarities, not differences. This is the insight from Duma. So what I want you to do is to write here another aspect of the context. Provide examples as we did, and please mention the paragraph and the Duma insight. Okay, from the insight of the writer. Take a clear picture and send it over to me. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you understood it. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me via Teams. Take good care of yourselves, and goodbye for now.